Hi, my name is Chris Bushell, and I'm a business advisor based in Essex. The last couple of months have been pretty difficult for a lot of businesses. A lot just shut down and haven't been back, a bit like the Marie Celeste. But now, as the government is doing all it can to get us back to work, it's now for us to make it happen. It's a bit like getting your business to rise from the ashes, which is why I've called this presentation Project Phoenix. Over the last couple of months, my job has been to help my clients put their businesses into mothballs so there is at least something to bring back when this is all over. But now, as we approach getting back to normal, it's clear that that's not an easy challenge. But more to the point is that I think we're going to find there is a new normal. And it's fair to say that some businesses will never be the same again. Some examples: air travel. Who's going to be getting on an airplane on a regular basis in the not too distant future? Restaurants. If you're relying on 60% occupancy in order to make your business break even, what happens when social distancing says you can only do 25? I think we'll find there's an awful lot of cheap office space around in the future as people realize that they can have their employees work from home. And of course, the high street and other retail will be hit as other people have turned to online shopping. So some businesses need to rise from the ashes somewhat differently from how they were before. But where to start? Of course, the answer is at the beginning. The world has changed and it may never be the same. Accept it. There's nothing you can do. Just get past it and move on. Avoid getting emotional in your plans, because if you're in an emotional state, quite often you won't make good decisions. Focus on your strengths and work out how you can leverage those in a different world. Be creative about how you might work going forwards. Just think about what you do. Don't reinvent the wheel, just look at it from a different angle. I've heard of a farm shop that used to sell its produce to restaurants, but now has started selling to the general public, and it's going great guns. Create a plan for your business. When you've come up with an idea, develop it, test it. Will the consumer want it? Will it pay you enough? Once you have a plan, deliver it. But how? Well, we've identified 7 areas which need to be thought through fully. Vision. This is an opportunity for you to think about your business, re-establish what you're about and where you want to go and how you're going to get there. Can you create a new vision from where you are now? Why is it important? Well, you've got a lot of hard work and pain ahead. You'll need to be remotivated to make sure you don't lose momentum. Rethinking what you do now will help you achieve getting forwards. The environment could impact your business in a number of ways. Obviously, there's social distancing, but people's habits have changed as well. The sale of bicycles has rocketed, which is great if you're in the bike business, but not so good if you manufacture seats for aircraft. People may have got used to spending time at home, so sales of TVs and home tech have rocketed, and for that matter, even fence paint. But cinemas might be quiet for a while. Consumer confidence is a biggie. At the beginning of May, a McKinsey survey found that only 15% of the population think that we're in for a fast bounce back. That means that 85% of people don't think that that's the case, and the vast majority of those are just plain uncertain about what's going to happen. That is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If they don't think that it's going to come back quickly, they're not going to be spending too much money anytime soon. So how does that affect your offering? There are lots of associated risks with bringing back staff and potentially bringing customers to your premises again. How do you minimize the number of people in your premises? How do we cut down on face-to-face working? In some cases, social distancing might just not be practical in your environment. So how do we manage that? And how do we communicate all of these things to our staff? And if we can't manage the risk, should we be opening at all? By identifying the constraints on your business, you'll start to see how you're going to have to change the way that you operate. Look at all the constraints in your business, work out what the operation will look like, and then apply each of those constraints until you've identified a way of working that overcomes them all. Remember that you need to maintain compliance, health and safety, and so on, to maintain viability and, more to the point, customer confidence as well. And remember that some of your challenges are outside your front door. Is your supply chain secure, for instance? Do you need to look for alternative suppliers? The likelihood is that all your customers won't come back at once, and that will impact your staff because you won't need all of them either. So you may need to restructure what your people do, at least in the short term. So you need to think about what skills you need, how much of those skills you need, and who in your business already has them. How do you support staff that you're not bringing back, especially when furlough and other provisions come to an end? You might need to make some uncomfortable decisions about who you can and can't afford to keep in the short to medium term, and what milestones you need to achieve before you bring someone back. Finance. Well, the government has supported businesses with grants and loans, and of course, we can now see that when that support reduces and comes to an end, it's vital, therefore, that we have provision within our business to make sure we've got enough cash. This comes back to having a clear cash flow forecast and budget, and monitoring your actuals against that budget to make sure that you're still on track. And once you've done all of those things, we've resolved all of the issues. You need to promote yourself. It could be time for a new marketing strategy. So what are the changes to your message? Have you changed what you provide in response to the new normal? Have you delivered it in a safe way? And can that be seen as a differentiating you from your opposition? What about the marketing activities that you use? How do those change? For many, networking has always been a vital part of their marketing mix, but for some, it might be less effective in the new world. There may be better ways to promote your business. And don't forget to look after your existing customers. Maintain close working relationships with them. Make sure that you're still relevant to what they want, because actually they're the people that matter. So here's your plan. Put your vision together. Make sure you know where you want to go. Check out the environment to know what it is that the environment is going to do and how it's going to impact on what you do. Identify what risks there are and how you're going to overcome them. Look at the infrastructure of your business so that you are sure that you've got all of the elements in place. People are a single most important resource. How do we bring them back at the right time, safely and motivated? Lack of finance kills businesses. How do we make sure that we aren't one of them? And lastly, how do we secure our future pipeline? For each of these, write down a checklist so that you know what you have to do to overcome these things. And remember, there's an overlap, so be flexible and review them. So there could be a financial implication on your marketing sales, for instance. My gift to you today is the summary checklist that takes over all of this. This checklist summarizes what we've been talking about today and gives you a structure to plan your rising from the ashes. If you've got any questions or would like a copy of our Rebuilding Out of Lockdown checklist, just email me and I'd be more than happy to get in touch. Thank you for your time today and stay safe.